Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2019 horror film Pull, which is also known as Pulled to Hell. Now this is a film that is written and directed by James Ryan Gary, and this is a horror film that's got a lot of different ideas running through it. A lot of them work, a lot of them don't, and ultimately the film ends up being a bit of a confused affair, and it's a fairly low budget horror film that focuses on, there is I don't know what you want to call them really, a group of people who hunt down evil people, and they are guided by this woman in a hospital bed, who I believe is the mother of certainly a couple of them in the group, who has these visions of evil people doing evil things, and then they send them on their way to try and put a stop to them, put a stop to these evil people doing the things that they do. And she has this particular sinister vision of a family being abducted and being exposed to horrific things, and this group of people is given the task of tracking down and putting a stop to this evil activity, and they discover when they kind of get there that they may actually be dealing with somebody who has got like direct connections to hell and evil and all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of the film that we're talking about here. Now this film, like I say, there are aspects of it that are borrowed heavily from other things, mainly TV shows like Supernatural. The idea of Supernatural, of the Winchester brothers going out and hunting down monsters and creatures, all this kind of stuff, is very much what this group of people are doing. There's two sisters and a couple of other guys that are in this group, and they go out and they're led by this woman giving them visions. And they even call themselves hunters at one point in this film, which is what they call themselves in Supernatural. So it has a supernatural feel to it, but it also has a bit of Angel, the TV show, feel to it. Not from the vampire aspect, but the fact that they're being led by visions, and all this kind of stuff. So it's got this supernatural stroke angel edge to it. And there are a couple of fairly effective scenes in this film. There's an early sequence where they track down this fairly well-to-do guy, looks like some kind of senator, who likes nothing more than feasting on innocent young girls, and it turns out he's some form of demon. And that was actually a pretty good sequence, and the effects for this demon were actually quite effective. And there are times in this film where the effects that you see are quite effective. There's an effect later on where they track down this big guy that's abducting people, and discover his true roots, demonic roots, and that's pretty decent effects. However, there's so many things that let this film down. There's some really poor acting at times, some really patchy acting. Sometimes it's passable, and other times it's really poor. The sound here and the sound design is really bad. Sometimes the audio is so bad you can't hear what the actors are saying. I mean, you really do struggle to hear it, and then the next scene it's back to normal, you can hear everybody. It's really bad. And some of the sound effects that they use for guns, they sound like cat guns or worse. They just don't sound very impactful or menacing, or the way you expect a gun to sound on a film. So the sound and sound design here is really off-putting for this film, but the effects are actually quite decent. And the sequence at the end where there's the tracking down and trying to save this family is effective on one side of it, and then there's another side where there's these like demon dogs you just can't see. It's dark, and I'm not sure if they trusted the effects enough to show enough of this kind of demonic creature dog thing, and you couldn't see anything. You had no idea really what was going on. So there's the sister, the sister that she takes with her on the travels, who can also like have visions, and she's a bit like a medium and has visions and can track things down, is so cry and whiny throughout the film. It really gets bothersome. She was very tearful throughout, always crying, always upset, and I just, other than her saying right, go this way, I just didn't see what benefit she was to this movie, because she just got really seriously annoying at times. So there's bad and there's good with this film. Ultimately, there are some good ideas going on here, and there are aspects of it that are interesting and watchable, with some decent effects, decent ideas, and a pretty sinister storyline. But the sound design, the sound, some of the acting, some of the effects, and some of the poor decisions in regards to filmmaking choices let this film down terribly. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Interesting film, some interesting ideas, but ultimately the majority of them don't work, unfortunately. So that's my review for Pull. I hope you enjoyed it, and of course I'll see you next time on Screen Stars.